I think success for me is as long as whatever you're doing, you're very happy. And when you look back, you feel like you're very proud of the things that you've done.
Hi, Luc. Thanks for being here today. Can you share with us about your 30-second or 1 minute elevator pitch?
My name is Luc, and I was born in Vietnam, left Vietnam when I was about 5, and then grew up in Canada, and grew up in Montreal, Canada, and studied actuarial science, became an actuary, and been working for about 26 years in the life insurance industry, about 11 years in Canada, and the rest in Asia. I've worked in French Canada, Toronto, Vietnam, Myanmar, and now I'm back in Vietnam. So that's my 30 seconds pitch.
How did you know that you wanted to be an actuary very early in the day, especially in the 1990s when actual profession is not that well known? And even maybe now it's not still not that.
Yeah, still now it's not. I think for me, it was like in terms of the choices you have. I think life, sometimes it's easier when you don't have a lot of choices. And for me, I was really good, comfortable with mathematics. And I didn't want to be a professor. So I want to be in the business world. So that narrows down the number of options you have. So actuarial was one of maybe the only option for someone that was comfortable with mathematics, but didn't want to go all the way to become a professor and wanted to work in the business world, right? So for me, that was how it happened for me.
Yeah, I would say like a lot of us who went to the actual professions because they love the combination of math and business.
Exactly.
And I would say the younger generation now have more choices with like data science and then like economic mathematics, finance mathematics, like so many more career options.
But I think this is still the best option. you may have more choices now, but I think this is the best option. I'm really happy that I went on this path.
Yeah, same here. It is a challenging option, but I think it is a worthwhile option.
Yeah, I totally agree. It wasn't easy, but now looking back, it was the right choice.
So do you think like being an actuary or having an actuarial background has helped with your career and lead you to where you are right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think being an actuary opened so many doors for me. I think at the beginning of my career, I think it allowed me to have a really interesting job and doing very interesting roles and I think moving up very, very quickly. And I think in the later part of my career, it really opened so many doors for me. It allows me to do so many different things outside of the typical actuarial field. You know, I've done like from IT to customer service to legal, marketing, strategy. So it really opens a lot of doors for me.
I went through the actual exam and the actual path. Like, I think what helped me is that I feel like I can do anything if I pass through those actual exam. Like the determination, the motivations, is really trained me on that. So, and then that often like, if I can go through this, I think I can learn and go through other things as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what I got out of all these actual exam is just the discipline. I think the determination. I think project management of your time also, right? You know, how you will split it over 3 or 4 months, how you're gonna study each of the chapters. So, and when you think about, these are the things that you need in almost any roles, right? So discipline, determination, manage your project well. So these are the basic things that you need. So I think our actual exam really prepare us for that.
Yeah, the discipline is key, I would say.
Yeah, the discipline over so many years.
Yeah, exactly. It's a long journey.
It's a very long journey, especially for me. It was a very long journey.
Yeah, I think for most people, it is a long journey.
Yeah.
So you have hold like several executive position, and now you are currently the CEO. So if you were to reflect to your career journey, were there any like pivotal moments that led you to where you are?
I mean, it's basically every time that I made a move, a physical move. So I think when I moved from Montreal to Toronto, I think that was a first key move for me. I think it opens a lot of opportunity for me. And then once I was in Toronto, that led me to Vietnam. And by being in Vietnam, in an emerging market, a smaller companies, you have the opportunity to do many things outside of just your actuarial field, like I mentioned. And this allowed me to touch different things, different aspect of a business, which allows me to be a CEO now because I had the chance to have different kind of experience and be prepared once you become a CEO. So yeah, so basically when you look back, it's basically every time I made a physical move, which allowed me to gain these experience.
So I would say a physical move in this case is usually go with like a big change in the environment, change in the culture, change in like just even like the relationship, the network that you make and stuff that allow you to gain a completely new experience.
Yes. Get out of your comfort zone, do something that's different, and then you get so much back. And also, like even when I moved from Vietnam to Myanmar, so that was also a big moment because it was a new market, so it allowed me to learn how to build a company from nothing, from scratch. So that also helps you to become a better CEO.
Mm. Yeah. So would you consider yourself as a successful person so far? Or like how do you define success in life in general?
I think success for me is as long as whatever you're doing, you're very happy. And when you look back, you feel like you're very proud of the things that you've done. So for me, that's how I define success. So I guess, yes, I am happy with what I have done and I'm proud of the things that I have achieved. So I guess, yes, in my opinion, it's been a really good journey and successful in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like I saw some of like your interviews and then some of the video about like the different accomplishment that you did and then the friendship and even like the latest dancing video. I think
You saw that. Okay.
yeah, like great ideas and then reflect many different things that you've done. Yeah. So do you believe in nurture or nature? Because like as I went through the path of the actual profession and then also like being approached by different students and then mentor different people, sometimes the actual profession is challenging. So and sometimes it's like you would want to tell another person is like, would you still want to keep going on this path because it is difficult and it seems like I guess I do believe that people can grow, but it's like there is also a limit in how much people can accomplish with their ability. And maybe sometimes it's just too hard to continue going on a path when there are other paths. So how would you deal with those situations? When would you tell someone that perhaps you should consider another path rather than going on this path that you're choosing?
Yeah. And for me, I think you're going to be very successful if you are doing something that you really like or you're passionate about. So if even someone that has a lot of ability in mathematics, but they don't enjoy this path, I would tell them, no, do whatever you want to do because that's how you're going to be successful. So it's the same thing. I think if you are maybe not as good in mathematics, but you have so much passion for this career, I think you can learn to have the right discipline and you will have the right determination to do it, to get to the finish line. So for that person, I would say, yeah, go for it. If you want to do it, then go for it. So I think it depends on, do you want it or not? Do you have a passion for this career path or not? So if they do, I would say, yeah, give it your all and I will help you. But if you don't, then find something else. Change now.
Yeah, I do agree. At the end of the day, it comes down to passion, how much you want it. And if you believe that it's worth it for you, then go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so now we move on to according to more, a lot of other people, is a dry topic, insurance industry. So insurance business still has negative connotation to it, especially like when people don't understand the concept of insurance. They think it's so complicated. They don't understand what is exactly what it does. So from your opinions, what is insurance and what does it accomplish for the society?
Yeah. So for me, I don't buy into that belief that some people think that the image of insurance is not that positive. For me, I'm always going to be optimistic, and I see it as something that is very, very needed, very, very useful. And like I've personally have gone and given an answer to an insurer, a policyholder, about their claims. She had gone through some very, very tough time in her family. And when I went and told her the decision from the company that we were going to accept the claim and we're going to give you this amount of benefit, and I could see the reaction in her face, how it was kind of like we were saving her. So that's when I see and I understand that insurance is such an important thing, and it's the only thing I think in the business world that can give you that kind of help and support. So no, for me, this is something that's very, very important, and it has a very key role in our society.
Yeah, I think that's the protection element that the insurance can give is very valuable. And I do think sometimes it just comes down to education to really make people think about what the adverse thing can happen. And this is one of the protection that you can get. Yeah. But I guess it's like, especially sometimes in the emerging market, I came through. I heard some comments before, and one of the biggest misconception I would say about insurance is like they say that it's like a fraud, or that the insurance industry just try to make money and really hard to pay out the claim. So, what do you have to say for this? How would you want to bust this myth?
Yeah, so I think we just go on our path of showing everyone and sharing with everyone what it can bring. So for me, I'm not even addressing those kind of thinking. I rather just go out and say, this is who we are, this is what we can do. Like we would do claims app that will show our potential customer that it's actually very, very easy to submit a claim, just 3 steps, and within X number of hours, you will get your answer. So then it gives confidence to everyone that we're here to support when they make a claim.
Oh, that's actually an excellent way to approach this, because like now you just focus on the solution, on this is what we can do, this is how we can help.
Yeah, and it's very simple to do it. So people don't feel like, oh, what happens when I need to make a claim? I'm not really sure which document I have to submit, or how, or where. Here you have an app, it's very easy, a few steps. At the end of it, we will give you an answer within X number of hours. So very, very clear and very simple.
Yeah, nice. So what are the different innovative things that you have done or seen that help transform the face of the insurance industry and insurance service experience overall?
So I think probably the biggest thing that we've done that really changed the image of life insurance here in Vietnam was, I think we changed the concept of how do we serve a customer, a client. So, usually you will go into a branch and then you will wait for your turn to go to the counter and then be served. So what we did was we did the reverse. So when you walked into the place, we create this space, this customer space where there's no counter. So when you walked in, we will come out and greet you, and then we will invite you to a couch or a sofa, and then we will serve you there with an iPad. So there's no counter. And then while you are being served, we can offer you a coffee or pastry. So creating a whole different experience when you come to see a life insurance company. So it's very, very easy. It's very, very enjoyable experience. So changing that whole concept.
Well, that's really nice. I can feel that like you wanted to create like a more intimate personal experience, because
Yes.
I guess insurance decision is a very personal and very close decision that everyone have to make. So like this whole in-person experience is like, I think that's an excellent concept.
Yeah, there's a human touch to it, and make everything much more relaxed.
Mm-hmm. So do you think it's also because of the emerging market, when people are not quite used to the insurance concept and insurance products? That's why like the focus is also more on the experience and the human touch. But then in the emerging market, like in Canada and in the US, we are focusing more on online experience, like something very quick and fast, and like underwriting, so you can accelerating and everything just to make one click and done. Is that a difference in emerging versus more mature markets?
Yeah, I think more developed market, you can go more with the digital. So here we are also working on that. I think there's a big focus on the digital side, but it would not be 100% digital. I think for emerging markets, I think there should be some sort of a hybrid version between digital and actually a face-to-face service. So that's what we're doing. We're focusing on both. Like we talk about the claim, so that can be digital. But sometimes when they need advice or questions, then we'll give a very good face-to-face experience.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah, I think hybrid is nice when giving more options to serve various clienteles.
Yeah.
So the insurance industry in Asia Pacific has been growing like vastly. So what are some of the challenges that you have faced as a CEO in the emerging market?
Yeah, I think it's so exciting. I think emerging markets are so exciting. Like for me, the challenges that we face is just sometimes you just don't have enough time to do all the things that you want to do. I think that's the biggest challenge, and maybe finding the right people to help you to be part of the team and to execute all the ideas. But apart from that, I think there's a lot of space for us to grow, a lot of space for us to be creative and bring something new to the market. So very, very exciting time for the emerging markets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's always exciting when you are in a place to build new things. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So in that sense, what do you consider a key success factor to win in like the Asia Pacific emerging markets for insurance?
Well, I think Asia Pacific, I think it's very, very big. So there's many markets in there. So I think it depends in which market you are in. So I think I would just comment on Vietnam market right now. I think Vietnam market, the economy is growing very, very quickly. The life insurance industry is growing very, very quickly too. I think what's important here and to be successful is to be able to bring something that's new to the market, bring new options, new products, new ways of serving customers, new technology. So I think if we can do that, then that's how we're going to be successful.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's the innovations in either a completely new products or completely a better ways to do things.
Yeah.
So so you have talked about like some the challenges is maybe about finding the resource, finding the people to build things. So what qualities would you consider like essential for a person to be successful in the insurance industry?
Yeah. So I think I don't know, for me, it comes back to what we talked at the beginning, through actual exam, what you get out of it. I think is that discipline, that determination, being able to manage your project well, execute them. That's how you're going to be successful, because I think in emerging market you got to be very, very determined, because not everything is set up, everything is new, so you got to be very, very determined to push things through, and you got to be disciplined to keep the pace and the ideas, to come up with all these ideas, and the execution is very key. You have all your ideas, but there's there's not they are not worth anything until you execute these ideas. So I think the execution part is very, very important. So it comes down to all the things that we've learned, that we got out of these actual exams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I say self-driven from that sense. Yeah. So do you think the role of an actuary in the insurance industry has changed? And if so, how?
I think it has changed a lot. I think I started like more of a traditional actuary, doing pricing, valuation, reinsurance. I think for the first half of my career, and I think the second half of my career, like I mentioned, so I've done almost everything but actual science. So and it's good. But I think I was able to do all those things because I was an actuary. So I think people gave me the chance to do all those things because I was an actuary. So I think the role of an actuary has changed a lot, and I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that for actuaries, if you have done a lot of the technical work during your first several years of your career, after that you can just expand out and do different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess the actuaries now can move on to more like the non-traditional role, and especially with our knowledge in the insurance, like we understand the insurance concept. Like I think it helped greatly in progress in the career in the insurance industry. Yeah. So what would you look for in terms of your management team? Who would you want to be in your team?
Yeah. I love people that are very creative, very innovative. I like people that are very driven, ambitious, and that are willing to take risk, that wants to build something. So usually, those are the people that I really like.
Mm-hmm. And someone like to dance as well.
They can learn after. They can learn.
Yeah. So now let's talk about work in North America versus Asia. So why did you decide to go back to Asia?
I think the way that it happened for me was, I think I was working in Canada and was very, very happy. I think I had just finished my fellowship, and someone who was working in Vietnam, he was CEO for a life insurance company in Vietnam at the time, had a common friend with me, and then he was looking for an actuary that could speak Vietnamese. So then I was introduced, and I went there for like a week, and then saw the operation, how it was done, and I was so inspired to see that. I didn't take that opportunity that year, but maybe about 3 years later, I had another offer, and I said maybe this is the right time. I wasn't ready 3 years before that, but then the second time around, I felt like I was ready, and I've been thinking about it for like the last 3 years. So when this second opportunity came around, I was like, let me take this chance. And I'm so glad that I did, because I think it changed everything for me. So that's how it happened.
Yeah, nice. I would say like the courage to, and also the right timing in order to decide and accept a new chapter. I think that's the key. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably still one of the most scary moments for me. I was very excited when I made that decision, but on the actual day of you going, yeah, I was very, very nervous, and I wasn't sure if I was making the right decision. And I gotta tell you, it was very, very difficult at the beginning. I would say the first 3 months was very, very difficult. But once I got used to it, and I could integrate myself well into Vietnam, then it was a really magical journey from that point onward.
Mm. So what make it so difficult at the beginning? What would like the difference or maybe culture shock between working in Asia?
I think now, looking back, I think it's all about expectation. Because I was born in Vietnam, I could speak Vietnamese. I thought I could speak Vietnamese at the time. So I thought it would be an easy transition. And I had traveled to Vietnam before as a tourist, and I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. So I thought for me, going to work there would be a walk in the park. So my expectation was not right. Had I told myself it would be difficult, all these things, then I think it would have been easier for me with the transition. I think I was just shocked at how difficult it was. I was not expecting it. So I think that made it much more challenging for me. But let's say when I moved from Vietnam to Myanmar, I think I've learned my lesson. And I told myself it will be very challenging. So by the time I got to Myanmar, I was like, oh, it's not that hard, So
yeah. I would say, I guess I learned somewhere like happiness is expectations minus reality minus expectation. So if you have low expectation, then you're gonna be happier with the choices or with the outcome, how it's gonna be.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree.
Yeah. So last questions, but on list, do you have any advice for people who want to start working or going back to, or I guess going to Asia to work, and especially for the actuaries, like how can we be successful in Asia?
Yeah. So I think my advice, based on my journey, like I told you, every time I made a move, when I moved from Montreal to Toronto, when I moved from Toronto to Vietnam, or when I moved from Vietnam to Myanmar, every time I made a move, I went onto a magical phase. So my advice is, if you do have the opportunity to go work somewhere, and if it requires a move, I think that is a good sign. It's a positive thing. Do it. I've never regret any of my moves. So I don't think people will regret their move either. So I think, yeah, my advice is do it. Take that leap and do it. And probably second advice is manage your expectation before you make that move and before you go, and it will go well. And I think every time you go into a new market, just learn, just listen and discover that market, and I think that's how you can be successful, is trying to integrate yourself into that market and understand it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess follow the slogan of the Society of Actuaries: risk is opportunity. So just do it.
Yeah, just do it. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, and I know everyone's gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for your conversation today, to share your career journey and insight and experiences. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, V. It was a pleasure.